Right, first of all, you might be wanting to know why my face is really shiny. I've just had a long overdue shave and I've slathered coconut oil all over as a bit of a moisturiser. That's what I do, so I look a bit ridiculous. But anyway, I'm in the mood for doing a video. I've been in YouTube jail. This is the 6th time I've been in YouTube jail. I'm a repeat offender. So fingers crossed this video uploads today, which is Friday the 28th of October, is it? If not, it should upload tomorrow, Saturday, or I don't know, some point over the weekend. So today's video, I wanted to do a comparison between ugliness and beauty. That's what it boils down to. There's an argument to make that Western society, with all of its, negative traits that I've talked extensively about, that what underpins all of that is ugliness. We have an ugly society. We've overseen an ugly society. There's an argument to make that we have become ugly ourselves. Many of us look ugly, and ugly things happen. But there's also an emerging appreciation of beauty as well, and all things beautiful and beautiful people. And I want to talk about these two corresponding opposites. So I'll start. I'll talk about the ugly aspect first, and to lead on to that, can there ever be a situation where the answer to any question or any conundrum, anything at all, where the answer involves the desecration of art? I think no. Particularly a piece of art that has long been held in the greatest possible esteem for its inherent beauty. And I'm talking, of course, about Van Gogh's Sunflowers, one of the most famous, meaningful, and beautiful piece of art that's ever been created. And we saw earlier this week, what do we call them? The eco activists. Do they call themselves the eco activists? What can we call them? There's many names that we can call them. Enter into a museum and throwing tomato soup over Van Gogh's Sunflowers. Now, yes, I know they're protected by glass-fronted. There's glass in front of the painting, but be in no doubt, beyond the symbolism of it, which I'll come to in a minute, these people who are content to deface property in order to send a message about their warped ideology would think nothing about throwing tomato soup over the actual painting itself. They would think nothing about destroying a piece of art 120, 130 years old that is exceptionally valuable and that many people love. They think nothing about that. The symbolism behind it is the most striking thing, because for me, what is ugliness? I think ugliness and ugly people are people who have no appreciation of the inherent joy and beauty and magnificence. The ultimate kind of contradiction is that these eco-activists, whatever you want to call them, Extinction Rebellion, Just Stop Oil. I mean, that makes no sense, does it? What does that even mean, just stop oil? Just stop oil from what? Stop oil from being oil. It makes no grammatical sense. It makes no sense at all. But anyway, no appreciation for beauty, even though what they are alleged to be protecting is nature and wildlife and the planet, all of which is beautiful. Now, for me, I look at the eco-activist movement as it's definitely something for me that is driven and managed by and propagated by the deep state, by the establishment. You only need to look at how, I know a lot of you probably already think this, at how the protesters, Extinction Rebellion, gluing themselves to streets, particularly in London, how they are, and there are usually only small bands of protesters as well, how they're treated by the police when compared to small bands of protesters who were protesting about lockdown in the very early days when there were only a few people out, and how the police treated those people. And it tells you everything you need to know about the police. Obviously, fully on board with the establishment, following a script about which groups and which social movements, which eco movements, which political movements, which economic movements, whatever, which are protected and encouraged by the deep state, and which are to be, and which ones are to be attacked. Because we saw a very similar thing going back to summer 2020 again. These are my example of the people who were protesting lockdowns at that point, and also the upcoming and incoming jab rollouts, and the stark comparison between how the police treated those people and how the police treated people who were protesting in the name of Black Lives Matter. So going back to real kind of like ideological, utopianistic, doctrinal crusades, whatever they're for. Right now, the one that is, for obvious reasons, tied into the Great Reset and Agenda 2030, the one that's being pushed in our faces, is the net zero and the green revolution and all the rest of it. All, what do they have in common? Probably an underpinning of atheism, negativity, pessimism, and hatred, and I mean hatred, of humanity, and wanting to desecrate and denigrate and destroy anything beautiful that humanity has created. Because ultimately what it's about, it's not about saving the planet with these people, it's about destroying humanity, attacking humanity, the rights of human beings, the freedoms of human beings, democratic rights, rights to create, to innovate, to coexist peacefully and harmoniously with each other in local communities and with nature. It is an attack on humanity itself, because these people, when it comes down to it, hate their own existence. It is a manifestation of self-loathing, and how that plays out is by throwing tomato soup onto a painting that is held in, as I say, held in the highest possible regard by people who love art and who love that particular painting. Now, when I think about art is impossible to define. In fact, the only way that I would try to define art is to say that nobody has the right to define art. Art can be anything you want it to be, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Absolutely, yeah. But going back to what I said at the start, can the answer to anything ever involve the destruction of art? No. And if anyone wants to try to disprove me on that, then feel free. So that's what we've seen this week. It's obvious. It's obvious that these movements, Just Stop Oil, Extinction Rebellion, the extreme, whether you want to call them left-wing, communists, whatever, it's quite clear to me that it's an anti-human agenda. It's an anti-existence agenda. It's an anti-truth agenda. It's an anti-freedom agenda. It's an anti-altruistic agenda. They hate their own lives so much, these people, that the way that manifests is in these extreme warped types of behaviour. Throwing milk, going into a supermarket and throwing milk all over the floor. But what astounds me with the videos I've seen is how many people just stand by and let them do it. I don't find myself in Waitrose much, to be honest, but if I did and I saw it, I think I'd be taking a completely different tack, as I'm sure many of you would be. But anyway, so that's the ugliness. Have you ever noticed as well how people who espouse ugly ideologies and ugly ideas and ugly engage in ugly behaviours, who dedicate their lives to destroying beautiful things, whether that's freedoms, whether that's democracy, whether that's people's right to have an opinion, whether that is a freedom of speech, whether that is a tax on people just for having an opinion, or whether it is destroying art. Have you ever noticed how a lot of these people actually, they're so ugly inside here that they look ugly? You know, they have to have very contorted faces, full of venom. There's a certain presenter on LBC who fits the bill. There are many on the BBC who have real hatred in their faces. They are so ugly. They have so much vitriol inside that it starts to tell on their actual face how they look. They have horrible, contorted, twisted faces. So there being no doubt that there is a lot of ugliness still in our society. A lot of ugly people doing ugly things, and whether that's the symbolism, whether you see it as the actual symbolism behind what's going on in museums, throwing paintings over art, or the actual attack themselves, the fact you can tangibly see people deciding to throw orange paint or tomato soup or whatever, to destroy the look of, to destroy something, whatever you think, the actual act of doing it or the symbolism behind it, let me know in the comments. But that's ugly. It's born out of ugliness and a hatred of beauty. Now, flip side to that, I was having a tough few days earlier this week. It is tough at the moment. Feeling much better now. I was feeling tense, stressed, very anxious, not depressed, very anxious at the start of this week. Anyway, I went for a walk. What day was it? Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. I went for a walk to just a field at the end of the road where my mum lives, which is only two minutes away. Just for a little walk. I can't do big walks at the moment because of my knee. But I just do little walks, like little half-mile walks. And I saw a gathering of adults and children, and I could see the van there that said Lydiate Parish Council. That's the little place where I live, Lydiate. Nice, quiet area, nice people, And I could see they were doing something, so I walked over and I knew one or two of the people. I said, "What's going on?" Anyway, they were clearing the ground, and the kids were getting their hands dirty, digging out all of the knotweed and the bindweed, and they were planting new trees, and they were making a nature trail, and they put bird boxes up and bug hotels, and they were planting wildflower seeds and tulip bulbs and daffodil bulbs. They cleared all the area, and it was already starting to look amazing, and it lifted my spirits. I can't tell you, because that for me was a beautiful thing that was happening there. They were wanting to do it to create beauty, to encourage more wildlife. And what can be more beautiful than planting trees, than encouraging new life, and then encouraging the providing an environment for the local wildlife, local bird life, and, as I say, local families there working with the local parish council. And this is what I love, because the vision of a better future that I have is one where we don't have the European Unions, the World Health Organizations, the World Health Economic Forums, the United Nations. You don't have these supranational, big pharma, big tech, all the rest of it, ruining people's lives, whether destroying their health or destroying their minds, destroying their freedoms, destroying their democratic rights, destroying their finances, whatever. My vision for what is possible is very, very local democracy and very, very local communal and community group action that is tied around values of, I talk about it all the time, connection, community and conversation, and crucially nature as well, and even more crucially, involving the next generation, children. It was just amazing to see them there, out there, digging in the ground, putting the footpaths in, planting the trees, planting the new bulbs for next year, and just absolutely, it made my day, and it provided the counterpoint that I often need, because I do still see more bad than good in the world, I'll be honest with you. But that doesn't mean I see kindness, I see love, and I see good things happening. I see good things happening from good people who I think are recognising that the issues that we face, and are realising that we've become so far detached as a society from each other, from ourselves and from nature. And those tender green shoots of recovery have been sprouting for a long time now, and they are going to, grow into something magnificent, and that is manifested for me when I see things like that. So for every eco-activist who's crusading against the very active, very kind of like against existence itself, you have other people who see the inherent beauty in existence itself, and want to nurture, and create, and find harmony with nature, with our world, with each other. So that was amazing. So they're the two visions. They're not the two type of people, because thank God there's not many people actually who are that either deranged enough and so hopelessly committed to a utopian, for that read dystopian, twisted ideology, or stupid enough. I mean, I think most of the Just Stop Oil and Extinction Rebellion are stupid more than anything else. Just mere puppets, too much time on their hands, but I think they hate themselves, and I think they hate humanity. I think it comes from a place of, I don't know. But anyway, there's not that many people. But the two visions that I have in my head for the future are one where we live in a world where zealotry, doctrine and ideology dominate the lives of all of us, and one where we seize the initiative ourselves as individuals to work in our own local areas with our friends and family. And as I say, this was the local parish council. I was speaking to a couple of the councillors, and they fully on board. I'm gonna say fully on board. I wasn't talking about all the other crap, that I talk about a lot here, but just on board with, getting outside, planting, involving the children in nature, planting trees and making something beautiful, or making something that is beautiful even more beautiful, if that makes sense. And yeah, so there we go. So do let me know what you think about what I've said there. It was something that really did raise my spirits. Now, I do talk in my book about the two competing visions for the future, and it's going to be one or the other, and there's a real battle with the book. I talk about nature, I talk about spirituality, I talk about more harmonious existence and living, and connection, community, conversation, introspection, nature, all this kind of thing in my book, The Imperfect Individual. If you've not got a copy yet, just click on the link in the description. It'll take you straight to the order page. So feel free to get a copy of that if you want. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I look forward to reading any comments that you've got about what I've talked about in this video today. All right, I will speak to you very, very soon. Bye bye.